Alas, I must smile and pretend we all get along. Be the overmistress, properly poised. I mustn't risk the station provided to me. Mustn't make a fuss, mustn't be uppity. Oh, yuck. Yuck. So you're saying that if a party crasher were to kick down the door and start raising heck, I couldn't possibly condone such a thing naturally. No, not at all. And the lady's right hand engaging in such uncouth antics, well, you'd have to be punished afterwards, undoubtedly. Don't threaten me with a good time. I assure you it's no idle threat. I'm greatly looking forward to it as well. I'll just be off to the side chatting up a crown princess and distinctly not looking in your direction. Right, time to ruin everyone's fun. It's not exactly the most romantic date we've had to date, but hey, it'll be entertaining. That's what I'm here for, entertainment. I don't think my excessively stuffed backpack of thieves' tools will be useful. This is all about social engineering. Where do we start? Spike the punch! Instigate a fight. Start a rumor. Fight! 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 Best way to make a huge scene and ruin the party for everyone? Poke someone into starting a fight. I could just literally poke someone until they punch me, but a clever social disruption is one where I act as a third party. Oh. For instance, the right comment to these two will set them off like a powder keg. I can already sense the spite between them. What to say? How dare you wear the same dress I'm wearing, and such a flimsy knockoff, clearly made in one of your sweatshops? Sweatshops? This is an exclusive from the finest Parisian designers, ones that only work with billionaires. Clearly you're just a mere millionaire who has to wear cheap imitation copies of the designs. Your husband didn't call me a cheap imitation when I outperformed you at last week's orgy. And your husband praised my skills. He told me how much you suck. It was an orgy. You're supposed to suck things. That's the whole point. Hey, so I was thinking... Just you wait. Once the many-faceted one soaks this world in blood and chaos, you'll get yours. No, the many-faceted one will clearly devour you and let me reap the pleasures of this world. So, harlot? Jezebel? Okay, so normally I'd be in favor of them fighting, but nobody's actually paying attention. I don't think it's possible to escalate this situation. Part of me wants to de-escalate it because it's awkward. Not to me, honey. Not to me. I say escalate. What the heck is going on here? Any other politeness and manners social gala would be torpedoed by a fight like that. Nobody can agree on who the many-faceted one actually hates. Everyone wants it to be the other guy. It's a cult focused on chaos and manipulation. Conflicts are inevitable and expected. Simply put, there are no good people in this room. They're all going to behave like monsters. It's a cult focused on chaos and manipulation. Conflicts are inevitable and expected. So it's basically a crab bucket situation, right? Nobody can climb out because they keep pulling each other down. It's amazing anyone can keep this group of egomaniacs in line. The overmistress must put in some serious hours managing it all. Man, this cult stinks. I wouldn't want to admit to being a card-carrying member. Okay, what next? Start a rumor. This guy looks rich and powerful in shirt. I bet if I start some wild rumor, he could carry it far and wide. I grab a drink and slide on up to him. Hey there, and who might you be under that mask? If you care to tell me, that is. I'm sitting U.S. Senator, like most of the people here. How do you not know that? Oh, sorry, I don't really follow politics much. Mostly because the only way a mask can vote is if they commit voter fraud, get panicked, but get pinched by the cops, or both simultaneously. Disenfranchisement. My favorite sort of franchisement. At least as a criminal, you can't vote. You can vote by contributing anonymously to my campaign. It's the same idea in the end. Care to sign a check? Any particular legislation you want me to push? My docket's quite open this term. Okay, wow, cynical butthole much money? Buddy, I guess I can't expect a sincere politician looking to effect actual progressive change to be attending an event like this. So are you with the far right wing party or the always kinda right wing party? Does it really matter? It's all the same. Water flowing downhill, gathering up more and more power. Easiest job in the world. I vote down party lines, and that's it. And I've been re-elected 3 times for doing almost nothing. What else are voters going to do? Demand ranked choice ballots? Never going to happen. Hey, where are the escorts? I thought cult events had high-end escorts on offer. All I'm seeing are some dusty old hags I see in the rotunda. Yeah, fork this guy. Let's use him to spread some filthy rumors. What lies should we distribute through the Capital Network? England is moving to replace the pound with cryptocurrency. His mistress is planning to testify before the House of Ethics Subcommittee. Canada is planning to invade North Dakota. Canada is planning to invade North Dakota. So did you hear about North Dakota? What about it? Canada is secretly planning to invade and annex it. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I have it on good authority that we already secretly sold North Dakota to Canada decades ago. What? It makes a great dumping ground for their toxic and nuclear waste. And there's only, like 6 people living there, tops? We let them pretend to be Americans to keep it swept neatly under the rug. Should you be telling me this? You're a mask, no one will ever believe you. I could tell you who really shot JFK and wouldn't even make page 6. And besides, men like me can't fail. At worst, we fail upwards. I'll be just fine. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to look for an escort. Huh. I'm getting the feeling I'm a bit out of my depth here. I'm just a mask. These guys are villains. I've got one last trick up my sleeve. I know one weird trick parties hate. Spiking the punch, it's a classic gag. Fortunately, Old Man Destructo has more than enough highly questionable liquids on offer. I can pluck right off the wall and put to good use. Vodka, Everclear, rubbing alcohol. A lot of these people are already drunk, so maybe not that. Ooh, hot sauce, that's an option. He's got Inferno Ivan's Flaming Dragon, March of the Anal Fire Ants, Temporal Patricide. No, hang on, I know exactly what to use. I pluck an unassuming white bottle from underneath the bar. Don't worry, Destructo won't mind, and carefully pour it into the punch bowl. And sure enough, some hapless fool walks right up and gets himself a big old cup of punch, dosed with truth serum. Nothing ruins a party quite like the hard reality of absolute truth. Let's get the ball rolling. Hey there, how's that taste? I haven't tried it yet. It's absolutely vile, but still better than the blood punch surprise at the last cult gathering. So hey, I was wondering, would you be interested in telling me all sorts of juicy details about... Did you know that globalist elites are actually secret lizard people living on the hollow earth? You mean like a Yankee? What? They sustain the reptoid forms by consuming adrenochrome from the glands of human babies, which they harvest at pizzerias. I read all about it online at the only fair and unbiased news site that exists, freedom.eagle. Pizzerias, that's like the latest Five Nights at Freddy theory or something. We need to act now before their scaly claws tear away our precious constitutional rights. I think you've had enough punch. Excuse me. Okay, so truth serum doesn't bring out facts, it brings out what someone thinks are facts. Duly noted for future reference. Gotta love living in a post-truth world where everybody doubles down on misinformation rather than admit they're wrong. And I get the feeling that guy would have happily yammered on about that nonsense even without me spiking the punch. So, task failed. Question is, did the cult teach him that, or is it just encouraging that sort of thinking? How absolutely and completely vile. Maybe it's for the best that you rarely come to cult events. Okay, hear me out. What if he's right? You've seen far weirder things in this world. I'm not even gonna dignify that with a response. Globalist elites is a dog whistle I have no intention of listening to. But I can't say I'm thrilled these are the sorts of people attending the cult's fancy A parties. Well, I'm out of ideas. Time to report back my failure. Your friends are, well, they're essentially 10 pounds of shirt in a 5-pound bag, Kiara. I suppose I should have warned you the task would be daunting. You can't shame the shameless. But this is the lot I'm stuck with, this cult of absolute annoyances, and I must maintain it to maintain my power. It frustrates me to no end, the company I'm required to keep, and I've no doubt they loathe me equally in return. Sadly, little can be done about this. These are the fools I must sing and dance for, if I wish to have my supper. Rest assured, your failed attempt at humiliating them is nevertheless appreciated by your overmistress. That a lady can trust her lover to ruin such a fine event is a remarkable display of loyalty. I'm thankful you have consented to be my consort, and I hope we can have a lovely evenings alone, when I'm not tangled up in situations like these. Which is most of the time. Cult's running you ragged, Kiara. I barely see you outside of official events. Yes, well, simply how it must be, I'm afraid. I'm rather trapped in this scenario, am I not? I think I need to step in here for Kiara's sake. This can't go on. Kiara, have you considered just, leaving? I'm the host of this party. I cannot simply leave. I don't mean leaving the room, I mean leaving the cult. First Crimson Moon, remember? The cultist you fell in love with? The one who wanted you to run away with them? They had the right idea. You should just pack your bags and fork off over the horizon. And turn my back on all this power? Are you mad? Yeah, turn your back on all this power? Are you mad, Penny? Power's everything. Yes, they can be irritating, troublesome, a miserable garbage fire to be honest. But my position is stable. I have wealth, comfort, prestige, and importance. Why jettison all that? Yeah, Penny, why jettison all that? I know I've considered leaving in the past, but doing it now this late, it means surrendering everything I am, everything I become. Only she needs more than a small nudge here. How do we convince her to make a major life change? Do I care? I mean, yeah, we do, because she's our lover. They're a useless, broken mess without her. She's their overworked caretaker, not their overlord. She yearns for some kind of she yearns for the kind of freedom you have. That's the end game she's actually seeking, not this dead end. They're horrible, miserable, twisted, and evil, and I like that. And Kiara is clearly uncomfortable with the cult's tendencies. So she's not really a villain. They're a useless, broken mess without her. She's their overworked caretaker, not their overlord. Let's be honest, your cult is a forking mess. Without you as the only adult in the room, they'd collapse overnight. It's like an office job where you're the only person on the team doing any work, coasting on sunk cost fallacy and empty praise. You're clearly unhappy here. The upsides don't outweigh the soul-crushing downsides. Keeping the ship of fools afloat for the rest of your life sounds miserable. I say it's time to abandon ship. I do tire of this. I tire of being the only sensible voice in the blood choir. I tire of running the world's largest daycare. First Crimson Moon recognized that. They saw how exhausted and overworked I'd become, even in my first years as overmistress. Perhaps it's time to tell them to sort their own messes for a change. You have convinced me, Penny. It is time to depart. I have tried to make this work, and I am tired of trying. You called me Penny, not Miss Larceny. So I did. I suppose tonight is the last straw. An inconsequential party, nothing unusual, but an unshakable example of the cult's failings. So be it, I will burn down my life, so I may live anew. It may take some weeks to craft a clean exit strategy, and to secure cult resources for my own personal use. Rob the piggy bank on your way out, huh? Quite so. For now, let us depart from this tiresome party. Next steps can be planned in due time. Oh my goodness. You are warned. We told you to leave the overmistress to us. You did not. You simply had to return again and again and again, despite the threat. I hate those eyes. Very well. We can move up our schedule. We need not wait for the stars to be right. I hope you enjoyed your little adventure. For now, it is over. Which is when a robed cultist slides up on next to us bearing a drink tray with 2 elegant flutes of champagne. Ah, my thanks, Ninth Shadow Delver. A nightcap before we depart. Miss Larceny, one glass alone costs $6,000. We may as well enjoy them. Sure, why not? I like drinking money. Penny, no, don't drink that. It's a trick. The many-faceted one threatened me again. Wait, something's wrong. The many-faceted one threatened me again. Huh? Why does this taste like nasty stuff? Do all ultra-expensive fancy pad drinks taste like... Oh, she's poisoned. Oh, hang on, this is drugged. I can tell from the mouthfeel. Well, sure. The room spins and goes black as I crumple to the floor. Oh boy. Okay. The dungeon again. And that's how your favorite villain found herself locked in a bare dungeon cell for the rest of her life. Forced to eat rats and roaches to survive, rotting away as the years slide by. Gone, forgotten, alone. Woe is me. Woe to Penny Larceny, the foolish, the abandoned. Oh, don't give me that, you're going to escape. I don't see you eating bugs, even if they're the only option. Bold of you to assume you're my favorite villain. Bold of you to assume you're my favorite villain. Oh, come on, I'm at least in your top 3, right? I mean, look at this phenomenal acting talent. Okay, fine, I'll get on with it. I've learned my lesson after ending up in a Strozkovian prison. There we go, I like the continuity there. Always have redundant lockpicks. Thanks to over-preparing for tonight's fun, I've got oodles and oodles of lockpicks. The cult found the ones in my hair, but not in my... Well, never you mind where. Point is, I'm good to go. Okay, yeah, women have more hiding places than men. Okay, except when they don't have pockets. So tip number 1, when guarding a prisoner in a cell, do not lean on the door. If the door opens outward, you'll get smashed into the wall when the captive kicks it open. And if it opens inward, Well, that's just asking to get yanked inside and subdued by force. Oh, and tip number 2, don't leave the prisoner's backpack full of extremely effective crime and equipment sitting by the door either. Especially not when she's packing handcuffs and gags, and even a green wig she can use to make you look like her in case anyone does a cell check. Amateurs. Finally, tip number 3, don't make your uniforms completely cover all identifying details, or that prisoner may just take your all-concealing cult robes and play dress-up, effectively passing as one of your own with ease. And that is how you outwit and that is how you outwit an internationally feared doom cult. But this is no time to get cocky. I need to find Kiara and get both of us out of here, and a disguise will only go so far. Hopefully farther than the starting line, because there's a cultist walking my way right now. How's the prisoner doing? Hang on, I can understand what they're saying? Usually these robed weirdos just mumble incoherently, but the overmistress is always able to understand them. Must be a magic thing baked into the robes, making them unclear to outsiders. Everything's fine, have a look. I gesture to the tiny barred window in the cell door, where someone with a conveniently green hair is handcuffed and unconscious. Our prisoner is still alive, I trust? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, my liege? Relax, the overmistress is about to ascend to a higher plane. We don't have to bother with her mandate to use pronouns anymore. Ascend as in she ascends to a higher plane of existence, leaving her mortal body behind. That sounds complicated. It also sounds like death. Apparently involves throat slitting. So no, not particularly complicated. I'm quite looking forward to it. Oh, fork. Yeah, that's gonna be just great when we do that. I'm really into slitting throats and not respecting pronouns. So when does the party happen? And I'm assuming we're killing Penny Larceny at the big event too? Unfortunately, no. The matchmaker is very insistent. Ooh, the matchmaker. Penny is a personal project for the King in Yellow. We will deliver her to him afterwards. What? What does the boss of Crimer have to do with her? Who knows? Who cares? Satisfying the many-faceted one's new edict is all that matters. And even the so-called Yellow King will be made to kneel and weep when the Lord of Chaos emerges into reality. Give it time. Unfortunately, we haven't used an altar of ascension in years, and assembling a new one from the flat pack kit is proving challenging. I swear, those altars of ascension are a pain in the aid to put together. You always run out of screws, and what even is an Allen wrench? We'll figure it out. Meanwhile, stay here and guard the prisoner. Of course, you can count on me. Good luck with that altar thingy. Shirt, they're gonna kill Kiara? Put any weirdness about me and the King in Yellow aside, I gotta get her to safety and fast. What made these buttholes turn on their overmistress like this? And killing her in the name of that fake cosmic horror? I think the actual factual many-faceted one told them to do this. That's the only thing that swayed them. You need to be very careful. The many-faceted one broke the fourth wall to talk to me. I don't think that was possible. Don't you think you're ready for the truth of what's going on? Just believe me when I say the monster's real. I think the actual factual many-faceted one told them to do this. That's the only thing that swayed them. You know, I'm starting to believe you about that. It makes sense. Someone made the cult pivot, and that's the only plausible suspect. Might not be some all-powerful chaos god, but clearly someone or something is using the mantle of the many-faceted one to control the cult. I need to case this joint, find a way out, find Kiara, and figure out a path that will let me safely connect the two. And we gotta move fast before they assemble the altar of ascension and make with the stabby. Let's get to work. Where to first? We're gonna go to all 4. Does it matter then? Unless the order matters. Locate the overmistress. That's the main priority. Don't think Kiara was held in the underground cell. I'd hear her echoing down the tunnels, being righteously annoyed at all this if so. My bet is that they've got her under house arrest in her parlor, guarded and locked in. I'll need a solid excuse if I want to see her. Aha! And 5 minutes later, I'm at her door with a cheese and snack tray. Food for the overmistress. May I pass? Alas, Miel, what's the point? She's only got an hour before we sacrifice her. Many-faceted one doesn't want her to ascend on an empty stomach. And you know this because... Look, it's not my job to explain this, shirt. Just do what I'm told. I was told to bring her some munchies, so I'm doing exactly that. You want to step aside, or do I go report to the Crimson Echelon that you're being a pedantic little shirt? Fine, whatever. Make it quick. In our parlor. That's nice. Okay, good. No guards inside the room, just outside. And Kiara is a towering pillar of absolute disgust and annoyance as I enter with a delicate little charcuterie board. You dare raise a hand against your overmistress and think to appease her with tiny meats? When I regain control of the situation, I will have you flayed alive and dangled upside down over the lion pits. Kiara, you and I both know you rehomed the lions to avoid getting involved in animal abuse. Claw went to the San Diego Zoo, Richard went to the New York Zoo, and Mr. Scruffles was released back into the savannah. Miss Larceny? Poof! I pull off my heavy robes, revealing my true form. Nice and dramatic. I was gonna say, did she forget her shirt? You thought it was a cultist, but it was me, Penny Larceny. Aha! I'm simultaneously overjoyed to see you and disappointed in my cult for having wholly inadequate security. Yeah, it is really depressing. This entire situation has become an absolute farce. I should have realized this might happen. You recall the documents you retrieved from that safe deposit box? Oh, here's our payoff. It listed the deaths of previous overs. The true list, not the doctored records I'd studied before. But even with the truth staring me in the face, I failed to consider betrayal. I assumed it was simple conspiracy, and I am adept with conspiracy. Locate conspirators, eliminate them, done. Clearly, I did not act quickly enough on that task. I remember your words at the party. You convinced me it was time to forge a new future for myself away from this cult. If only I'd listened to that advice one day sooner. If only I wasn't so indulgent in the comforts and pleasures they gave me. I don't blame you, sweetheart. I blame myself for this. I chose the path of weakness, allowing a cycle of abuse and mayhem to continue barely checked. You couldn't have known they'd turn on you. No, I could have known. I could have looked into the death of my predecessor more closely. Could have been a more suspicious person. They kept me busy being their den mother, their party planner, their meaningless figurehead. I was far too busy looking after them to look after myself. I thought myself sensible and responsible, and they relied on that pride. Well, that's all done now. I'm to be poured into the pages of my own arcane tome and meet my maker. You should make your escape, Penny. What? Your overmistress commands you to live, Miss Larceny, to survive this catastrophe and go on to live well. If my path ends here, yours must endure. Your freedom and your spirit must endure. Fork that, we leave together. This is a direct order from your lady to her right hand. You swore an oath. I love you too much to allow you to come to harm. I cannot be safe in the situation. You must learn to let me go. No. Fork that, fork the oath, and fork no-win scenarios. I'm saving you. What? I love you too much to allow you to come to harm, and my freedom's worthless if I don't have you at my side. Call me an oathbreaker if you want, but I will not let them spill one drop of your blood. You think you're an iron hand in a velvet glove? Well, I'm a velvet hand in an iron glove. Or, like, something. So when I do finally decide to punch, people get wrecked. And I'ma tear this whole cult down if I gotta keep you alive. We got an understanding now, Kiara? So be it. Ooh, I think that, like, sense of authority and that sense of authority might have turned her on. I will admit that the absolute passion in your words is an incredible turn on right now. See? See? Stefano and I are thinking the same thing. Perhaps I'll let you have a go at being on top. Save it for the after party. As you wish, my love. We shall leave this place together and never return. It is decided. This rebellion, this pathetic appeasement of the useless god, is wholly frustrating and proof the cult is unsalvageable. It's time to abandon this cult, let it crumble to dust. Now we're talking. I'm still looking for an escape route and still mentally mapping the guards' patrol routes. Give me like 15 minutes and I'll sneak us both out of here. Excellent work as always. However, your overmistress has one final task to assign you before she resigns her post. Kinda pressed for time, Kiara. What do you need? You must destroy the Sanguinomicon. Burn it to ash. That matters more than my life or yours. What? We don't have time to go on a book-burning crusade. We're gonna die here if we don't bail. And if we simply run, we will die. Consider the logic. If we do not destroy it, the cult will retain its source of eldritch power. As long as the chance remains that they can summon the many-faceted one, we are dang. The fate of the world is at stake, Henny. There is but one path forward. We're not Capes, Kiara. We don't save the world. Do not mistake my strategy for altruism, Miss Larceny. This is entirely a matter of self-interest. Aside from a matter of pure survival, saving the world means there remains a world for us to conquer. If we are to seize the future for ourselves, we must annihilate this mutual foe, the many-faceted one. Shut down our most powerful rival, then watch the now powerless cult crumble. No overmistress to keep them moving forward, no otherworldly patron, just a bunch of power-hungry zealots and scheming politicians who will devour each other as they fight over the scraps. We are villains, my dearest minion. We are obliged to fully and utterly destroy all who oppose us. Let them destroy themselves on our behalf. That way, we need not lift a finger to punish our enemies. They will be dust and we will endure. Yeah, but lifting a finger is part of the fun. That is some high-grade premium level epic tier mask shirt, my overmistress. I am forking in. Then by your lady's command, develop your strategy for the destruction of the Sanguinomicon. It shall be done. For now, play along, pretend you are a helpless captive, and trust in your minion to make the intercept play. You have my absolute trust, Penny. Go forth! I pull my cult disguise back on as I set about my scheming. I need to track down where they're keeping the Sanguinomicon. With any luck, I can quickly shred the thing. I trust you're on board with this destroy book then exit order of operations. Honestly, the many-faceted one has me worried. Let's destroy its conduit into this world. Since when have we ever backed down from a challenge? I'm with you as always. I'm not a fan of the plan, but I take it you'll ignore me if I plead for you to run. Pretty much, yeah, I don't always accept your advice on face value, you know. Yeah, probably hardly ever do. In this case, if I didn't do this, I wouldn't be me. So I'm doing this. Suit yourself, Toots. Okay, where are we headed next? Yeah, find the Sanguinomicon. Might as well. We're gonna have to do it anyway. Kiara's tasked me to locate and destroy the book. Okay, that's a thing I can do. Normally it's in her parlor, which she rarely leaves, which is why she hired me to go out and do random crimes on her behalf. I don't think it's a coincidence that the MFO's initiating regime changed tonight. Prime opportunity. Kiara was at that fancy party away from here. But I visited her parlor and the book wasn't there. It's been relocated. So I watched the flow of people, where they're going, where they're not going, and they're decidedly not going to one room central to all of this, a downstairs library. Yep, there we go, the Sanguinomicon open to a page inked in blood, sitting on a pedestal and heavily guarded. The guards stared at me impassively. As I approach, hands on the hilts of their daggers, but not drawn yet. Whoa, be cool. I'm new, just not sure where I'm supposed to be right now. No one approaches the holy word of the many-faceted one, the voice of a million throats, the binding oath of blood and chaos. That's the book thingy, right? Also known as the book thingy, yes. Were we not present when it spoke to our hearts this evening? Quick, need an excuse. They called you in to help with a ritual. You arrived late and missed it. Make up some darkly poetic Lovecraftian nonsense you can fit in with these jokers. Pretend your mind is still reeling from the shocking event to explain your confusion. No. Let's fit in with these jokers. Yes, it echoed deep within my soul, filling me with this anti-light. It glowed darkly in the depths of consciousness. I feel fractured by the touch of the many-faceted one. Therefore, I am both submissive and bewildered before its majesty. Do you not feel the same? Did it not resonate at such an intense level with you? Of course it did. I've been a true believer since day one. I recognize the power the instant it entered my heart and know it to be truth. The overmistress must ascend to join the many-faceted one. Her blood will be added to the pages. The ritual involves pouring her life essence into the bindings, her soul instantly joining the choir of chaos and despair which wails eternal. Yes, wailing and despair. It is all I desire, all any of us could possibly desire. I wish to experience it anew. I want the words to replace my thoughts, so I can only think of the words. So if I could just have a little peek at the book, perhaps? No. The Sanguinomicon must remain untouched until it is carried forth to the ceremonial altar. All who dare approach will be met with death. Right, death. Don't want to die before the overmistress does. I'm going now. Thanks for filling me in. Walk with chaos, child. Okay, so if I go anywhere near the book, I get shanked. Good to know. I could maybe do some tricky stealthy thief stuff to grab it, but good luck escaping the mansion hauling that thing. Assuming the MFO doesn't scream and summon guards the instant I touch it. Same goes for torching it on the spot. I've got my magnesium flares, I could do it, but then I get carved up by knives. I need to find a better approach. So moving on, for now. Okay.